Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the very rare La-174. Why do I present you this plane, this Soviet jet fighter? Well, it is at the moment up for research. I'm going here to the dev block and it says from 15:00 GMT on September 11th until 900 GMT on September 18th, in honor of Lavochkin's birthday, the rare La-174 Soviet jet fighter designed by Lavochkin is available for research and purchase. I think this is overall a plane that is fun to have in the garage, but it's nothing special to summarize it up. Very important is here the note in the dev block. Note: in order to obtain and keep the aircraft after the 18th of September, you need not only to research the aircraft but also to purchase it. So you need enough money. How much silver lines you need, I don't know, but play a lot of vehicles that get you a lot of money. And as you can see here, I wanted to show you the broken part about this plane. You still can fly fine without practically half of your wings. It works as long as it is symmetrical damage. The plane is, well, it was very fun in the first few battles that I played it. It is even not that bad when stock. However, we have to talk about the armament just in a moment. I present you here two battles. The first one is just showing off this little bug, and the second one where I actually do a little bit of damage on the enemy team. The battle rating is 8.0, much like the La-15, and the La-174 comes after the La-15 in the tech tree at rank 5, battle rating 8.0, as I mentioned it. It has no premium status. It doesn't get anything different in terms of income compared to the La-15. As far as I can recall it, the silver line and research point bonus is more or less the same. In fact, you get less silver line bonus. 540 for the La-15 and just 465 for the La-174 for silver lines. 400% for both in terms of research points, without any modifiers and premium account, obviously. Now, what I show off here is just the broken part, but what about the actual performance in game? Well, let's run down the notes that I noted here. After the L-15 you have this plane, and then this is the end of the line plane. You have a relatively bad BR of 8.0. While at 8.0 this is not a bad plane, I have to say. Much like a lot of the 8.0 planes, you really struggle in a 9.0 match, which happens more than often. Currently also I get a lot of mixed matches, despite there being a lot of players. That means currently, I guess, a lot of people have noticed that the La-174 is up for research, and so a lot of Russian players play their Russian chats in order to unlock the, maybe in the La-15, which you need to research in order to be able to research the La-174. Then you also have a boost of 112% for the engines, although it tends to overheat. However, you can manage it with just going back to 100%. Then this is footage from the upgraded La-174. In fact, just the thrusters are missing. Then I have my La-174 since the second event. A funny story, by the way, even before the event came online, I began to research the La-174 because there was nothing left. I just played my Soviets by default, and when the event then was released, I had the research done, like half of it already. It is quite maneuverable, I have to say, but it's also not that slow, although I'm not quite sure what would win in a race. In fact, this plane can rip apart itself in level flight just by flying with 100%. The rip speed is around about 960, something like that, don't quote me on that. And in comparison to the MiG-9, well, it is more of, if the MiG-9 is a Tempest, the La-174 is more of a Spitfire type. Not a Griffin, but you know what I'm talking about. Then let's talk about the armament. That was just a rough comparison, to be honest. We have 3 23mm guns mounted below the fuselage. And that leads to very interesting aim, I have to say. Furthermore, the recoil of those 23mm results in the plane to nick down in a long burst, so you have to aim even higher. But then when you are in the burst, it's relatively stable. But then again, you have not enough ammunition to support this nick down aim. When you think you have let enough, lead even more, because the shells are relatively slow, the plane nicks down, and the shell velocity is also not the very highest. So the shells overall seem to be a bit tired. I'm using here the air target belts, and I'm not quite sure if with the damage that I inflicted on planes so far, if I shouldn't switch to the stealth belt, but that is purely API, armor piercing incendiary. However, the most planes that I killed by setting fires to them with a single hit. And 1 in 4 shells, in fact, even on the air target belts, is API. I'm not quite sure if this is a real tendency or if it was just luck, so to speak. Furthermore, I have to say this plane has, in the current patch, no payload. It has no bombs, no rockets, just 3 23mm guns with 100 rounds each. And remember, you have a relatively high rate of fire for the caliber of shells, so you can go through your ammunition faster than you think. So we have here the Americans and the British versus the Russians, and our TU4s are on the way to do their very skillful job. In fact, I think a lot of people are now taking out their TU4 because previously they put talismans on that plane to research fast, and that leads to even more mixed matches because you have a bomber limit of 4 bombers per team. And I think the TU4 is the most popular 8.0 bomber, to be honest. So I did here a little bit of long run. I side climbed, and now I'm getting very close before I pull the trigger. And I hit the wing, set him on fire, and zoom through, pull up, and just let the energy retention do the job. At this point, none of the P-80s, none of the British planes can follow me. I'm too fast. But then again, this is an 8.0 battle. You don't get better matchmaking than that. And yeah, I destroyed him finally. I'm going for the second P-80. I predict his turning, but I'm not quite sure if I can get hits into him. I can. So again, he's on fire, as I mentioned before, and I turn around again to face the attacker. Double strike, second kill. So I pull up. I don't want to get into a head-on or want to shoot down an ally which is close by behind the attacker. Now the attacker is also relatively fast, I have to say, but I'm coming out of a dive, and the MiG-9 and the La-15 don't have the speed, and they go for the P-80, which also was set on fire just before he exploded or burned down. Bit of long range shooting, and booyah, third kill. And that was a relatively quick match. It was not that exhausting. We didn't have to hunt down any kind of bomber. The game wasn't decided by bombers on our side either. So yeah, a little bit of spoiler alert. I tried here some long range shooting, and again a bit of turning. The plane handles really nicely, I have to say, but you have to be careful. And again, he's set on fire by an La-15. So I guess the 23mm is currently killed by fire. I'm not quite sure. So, and that is the match, to be honest. That's it. That was the last player. And you can see me here in the leaderboards. I'm in the upper middle. And, well, that's all there is to say about this match. So when we have a look at the post-battle results, please keep in mind this is not a premium plane. It doesn't get any big profit compared to Untitled Chapter. I had a 150% civil line booster and a 10% research point booster activated, and well, it is more or less just a collector's item in my opinion. But let me know in the comment section what you think about this plane, if it is worth going for it, if you are really interested in having such a rather rare tech tree chat. And as usual, give this video a like if it did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.